All right, man. Look, this is your boy Brocky, man. Whiskey and Kicks. I'm back for another one. We do this weekly, baby. It's we on a roll right now, man. I have you guys saw me do a tasting with the Bardstown Bourbon Company. Now I have, am I getting this right? The brand manager?
I'm the state manager, but I've got DC, Maryland, and Delaware.
Boom, of Bardstown Bourbon Company. My man Nick is in the building. What's going on, brother?
I'm very well, Brock. How you doing, mate?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm feeling all right today, man. I took a long walk and I walked for exercise, so I got like 6.5 miles in, so I'm beat. But
Nice.
the bourbon, the whiskey gives me life, so I'm here.
That's what we like to hear. Yeah, it's definitely a way forward.
How are you, man? How's everything?
I'm well. Have you? Sorry, it's 8 o'clock. I've just put my child down. Do you have whiskey in front of you? More
I
important.
do.
Right. Have you poured yourself one?
I have. I poured two.
Oh, God. Where I'm at right now.
Yep. What are you pouring first?
I'm going to start off with Fusion.
Okay, so I have Fusion right here. Right here.
We're going to get straight into it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate those bottles.
Yeah, welcome, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
So where you brought them from one of your local stores?
Yeah, the first place I went to, right down the street, man. 5 minutes from here. They didn't have them out on the shelf, so I'm asking the guy. He looks it up on his phone. He looks towards the back, and he had 2 boxes there, and he pulled them out. I said, "Damn right, let's go." And then he had the other one. I see it right there in the back with the gray label.
This one.
Yeah, I think that's the one he had too, but I couldn't get that one. I'll get that maybe another time.
Yeah, that's a yearly. Well, we're trying to do it yearly, every 18 months release. That one's going to be. So that one is one of our whiskeys put into a special barrel finish, but we'll get onto that later.
Yeah.
So you're drinking the Fusion.
Yeah, I got the Fusion. I'm rocking with you, man. I'm doing the Fusion first.
Cheers,
Cheers, brother. Cheers, man.
Definitely what's needed after a long day. Yeah.
That's perfection. So you guys have a serious thing going on with all these the different series and everything. Can you explain this a little bit?
Right. Yeah. So right now we were stuck with that original problem of being a brand new distillery. So we only started out in 2014. That's when we broke ground on the distillery. In 2016 was the first time we started producing whiskey and barreling it. So if you take it from there, six years along, we'll have 100% our own stuff ready. So by 2022, in theory, everything's going to be rocking for our actual true 100% our own bottling and everything else, and that's going to be quite phenomenal. Up until then, we didn't want to put out some whiskey that was like a year old or white doggish, or just under par, because of what we're actually about is we actually make 7 million proof gallons a year right now. So to put that into kind of numbers, that's equivalent to 22 million bottles at 50 proof.
Nice.
Or 100 proof, yeah. 50% ABV. So, and we've had like 3 extensions in the past couple of years as well. Originally, our founder, Peter Lofton, he got annoyed when he was trying to go out and find these different types of custom whiskeys. And he was like, well, I don't want MGP. I don't want this. I don't want that. There are only like 3 people he could get hold of. So it's like, I tell you what, I'm going to create the nation's most technical distillery. And that's how Bardstown came around. He approached Steve Nally, who had just retired from Maker's Mark, and after setting up Wyoming Distilling as well. So Steve and his wife are the only couple that are a part of the Hall of Famers as well from the Kentucky Trail. So these guys know their stuff. So Steve, after having spent 30 plus years at Maker's Mark, for example, when he started there, they were making 1 barrel a week.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, right. He would ride his bike past the dump barrels and try and find something a little sneaky in them. That's he's a local through and through. So that's how we've managed to get hold of him. So we're with Bardstown and our selection of what we have. So after Peter and Steve came together, they were like, right, well, what do we do? Well, okay, we're not afraid to source and we're not afraid to blend.
Right.
When we say blending, it's people like, whoa, like, why would you blend? I'm like, well, technically it's all blending if you're doing large batches because it's not from all the same single barrels and things like that. So let's just go with it anyway. So like the Fusion series is about, like Steve is, he's tradition, right? And then we're bringing in the technology. So it is that blend between the old and the new. So with the Fusion series, the Fusion 1, Fusion 2, and Fusion 3 so far have been all the original same juice. We're currently on Fusion 2. Fusion 3 is hitting the market as we speak. It's not quite hit Maryland, DC, or Delaware yet, but it's only literally weeks away. So we're gonna have to get back on for that one. But so right now we're on Fusion 2. You've got two different, you got 2 years, 10 months, and then you've got a 3-year-old, which we've made 100% ourselves. One's a high rye, one's a high wheated, both Kentucky straight bourbons. And then we've also gone out and we've sourced a 12-year-old whiskey as well. So this 12-year-old whiskey, it's got some really nice leather tones to it as well, where it complements the spice from the younger stuff. And then you've got the wheat as well, just to kind of mellow everything out a bit. So that's kind of what the Fusion series is about, is like your everyday pour. It runs for about $60 on the shelf, $65. And that's really like that get home from work like I'm doing right now, and then just going, I tell you what, I'm a neat whiskey guy.
You do.
Because it's a 90 plus degrees out right now, and I've just been outside with the dog and then put my child to bed, and I'm like, I'm hot. I'm putting an ice cube with it. Loud.
Do what you gotta do.
So we don't have a blender. We have obviously Steve, our master distiller, but we don't have any individual blenders. So with our team, what we do, we actually get our bar team, our kitchen team, so the culinary, the beverage, the distilling team. So we bring the pros of that. We put them into like a bracket series, like you do with a basketball, and then they go off against each other. And then we'll put our competition in on it as well to make sure that whatever we pick is better than the competition. And that's what we run through.
So do they? So do you guys kind of blend the stuff behind the scenes and then test it out on these teams?
So no, all the teams get the same set of whiskeys in front of them, like 20 different variations of different whiskeys. And then we say, right, go away, and in a month's time, come back. Then let's bottle this whiskey.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And isn't that crazy?
That's insane to think that something like this came from something like that. And that makes it even better.
Yeah. Because, right, so with this one, it was actually one of the national brand ambassadors that came up with, well, it was their heavy opinion that was like, no, this is what I really like. And this is what the entire marketing team were like. Yeah, awesome. Distilling team agreed as well. The ops team, it was very much joint efforts when we pull everything together, because they wouldn't have been able to get there without our skills and our techniques of what we do. So, for example, like the COO, our Chief Operations Officer, he was with Bardstown for a good amount of time. Okay. In 1992, and John Hargrove, he's also in his own right an incredible guy. So we were only meant to be at this 7 million proof gallons. We were meant to be at that, I think, by like year 8, and we were doing that by year 2.
Wow.
We opened with 8 fermentation tanks. Then we expanded to 16. Then we were like, we need a whole new room, like a whole new building out back. We're going to put another 16 out there. Yeah, so they did that, then added a second column still, like a second column to the still and everything, and expanded that. Now we're putting in a brand new bottling facility that we broke ground on in March. In COVID, we're still expanding.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, you guys hit the ground running, like literally, and it's taken off. This is your first. When was your first bottling? Like, when did you guys first release it?
So technically under our own name, and what we were really openly launching on like a nationwide, where we're expanding, where we're in 12 different states right now, and 1 district, obviously. 13 states, because I still declare DC as a state. And so we're still expanding. So since the sales force has been together, as it were, it's only been since March last year.
Okay.
So we launched with Fusion and Discovery. Wow. Discovery will come on to later. But for Fusion, was just our heading. And like it got picked up by Whiskey Advocate as their number 11 top whiskey for 2020. You know, they bring out like that top 100 list.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so we got number 11 with this.
That's amazing. And let me tell you something. You guys hit the mark with not only the juice itself, but the branding. The brand is great. With
Thanks.
the colors, the soft colors and everything. Like I'm a sucker for bottling. I like nice bottles.
Yeah.
And you guys just knocked it out the park with this.
So where we were, obviously we honor tradition. It's also about being transparent about what we do as well. And that's one of the biggest key parts about our operation. It's when you come to our distillery or you see the distillery, you'll notice that it's like no other out there as well. It really is quite unique. We were the first people to put actually a full restaurant inside the distillery.
Okay.
Where our competition has been around since like the 1700s.
Right.
Or sorry, the 1800s. And then they built on it and built on it and built on it, and they're wooden and they're old, they're slow, they've got some bad technology in there. Where we just walked in and we're like, right, cool, we'll put that there, the electronic machine goes there, this picks this, that picks that yeast.
Right.
That's our cooling, and it was like amazing, right? And we want you to be able to see that when you do our tours. So right now, where you can't come out to, well, you can if you live in Kentucky. Obviously we're recommending that people are safe and they abide by social distancing laws and rules, and making sure that they go by the state, like the governor in Maryland today. I'm so happy that he didn't put Kentucky on the list. It's like, woo! I was meant to be going out there this weekend.
Really?
I've decided not to. Yeah, my wife's pregnant and a 1-year-old, so it's kind of like not going to put that risk on the family.
And that family's gonna look like that shows a Bourbon back there in a minute, man. All these kids.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh no, the little one has got his own way. Yeah. So no, it was about what I was saying is about that transparency. I asked my boss, I was like, hey, can I come out and actually learn a bit more about the machines?
Yeah.
About how we do things. It's like, yeah, of course you can. So that's what I was going to come out there and do. But also, I don't want to be pressure on the team. Right. But one thing we do for the customers is for obviously our transparency on the bottles.
Yep.
Is the mash bill.
Yep.
So for those that you guys can see,
yep,
this is on every bit of printed material that comes with this bottle, or whether it's online. It's not like you have to Google it 15 times to try and find the right one, and you think this blogger from wherever they may be goes, oh, well, this society reckons it's this. No, we're telling you 100% what it is. The only thing is...
I like that you guys are doing that because the stigma, right, with sourcing whiskey. I have absolutely no problem with it because actually, blending whiskey, and sourcing whiskey and using that to make something else, there's an art to that. Everyone just can't do it, and come out with some quality juice. So I had absolutely no problem with that. I understand you want to make your own water, your own brown water and everything, put your own stuff out. That's cool too. But I'm glad you guys are doing that because it takes away from the whole stigma.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about, is being able to go, no, we're being honest. Right. We're here for you. We're here. We want to show you what is inside it. Where our sourced whiskey on the top of this, where it's 40% of the sourced, just says Kentucky.
Right.
But we signed an NDA. We're not allowed to disclose what that is.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, so we're not annoying anyone, but also we're being truthful about what we do.
Right.
So one of the other things about our transparency is, so we launched 4 weeks ago, because of obviously social distancing and COVID, we still want to give the customers a tour. So what we've done is 2 different things. You can do a tour on a Thursday virtually with one of our actual tour team, our gold tour team, or you can go online anytime you like. It's our tour 360. So go to bardstownbourbon.com, click on 360, and then you can click your way around every single segment of our tour.
That's dope.
It's narrated by Dan Calloway, or Danny Bardstown. He will narrate you through every single aspect about whether it's, how does the grain separation go? How do we change up our yeast? What temperature does this run at? What production numbers is this? Anything and basically everything that you need to know when you go onto a tour, it's all there.
That's dope.
And you can, like I said, you can do that whenever you like as well.
Yeah, man, you guys adjusted, with the times and everything.
You got to.
You had to. You had to. And I definitely want to get out there. So how long have you been with them?
So I actually only joined them in September.
Okay.
Sorry, September? No, I heard about them in September. And then I hunted them down and I got my job offer on New Year's Eve.
Okay, nice.
At 5 o'clock on New Year's Eve, they said to me that they would tell me by the end of the year, right? My interview was a week before Christmas, and they said, we'll give you an answer before the end of the year. Like literally the last minute of the working hour.
Awesome.
I was like, oh, you guys had to string it out. He was like, yeah, we did that.
Yeah, it kind of stressed me out a little bit.
It's like, I knew you would take it. I'm like, to my now boss, I'm like,
that's a good way to bring in the new year. So a little bit more about you, man. You know, so when we first connected on my IG live and everything, and you were like, I was talking district distilling stuff, right?
Yeah.
Local BP distillery. So what were you doing over there?
Hang on, let me just switch up. Right, sorry. Let me put my DC hat on. Hang on. Do my DC thing now. Come on, DC. Right. Yeah. What they say about double fisting? Yeah.
There you go. You do what you gotta do.
I know. Most time I drink bourbon, there's normally some type of light beer on the side.
Gotcha.
So when I first moved over to America, I moved over here to be with my wife. I was working at a liquor store in Baltimore. And then I ended up, and it was like kind of casual work as well. And then I ended up having these great distribution guys that would look after us. And obviously we did weekly tastings and we'd do the game between the distribution guys and the stores. And then I was moving to DC because of my wife's job. So I asked these reps to go, oh, hey, can you do me a favor? Like reach out to the bartenders in town, because back in the UK, I was a pub manager. I was the general manager of like gastropubs in London. So they came back with, well, you've got WSET. Do you want to come work with us? I was like, what? I was like, I don't know anything about this. Like, I'm very green. They're like, it's okay. We can trust you. We can build you up. So that's what we ended up doing. So I ended up working for them. And then after about 18 months of working for them, we picked up this local distillery called District Distilling. I was working on the brand and trying to get them out there and trying to build them. And I reached out to the distillery. I was like, oh, hey guys, who's your sales and marketing? They're like, well, it's either the owner or the distiller. And then there's a couple of people that work on the bar. I was like, what? And so, yeah, we built it from there. And then a couple of months later, I ended up having lunch with the owner. And then I was appointed director of sales and marketing.
Wow.
So my job was to try and figure out what to do with the restaurant upstairs, whether we keep it, lose it, and also but more importantly was trying to get us out there into as many brands, many places as we could. And to try and really put district distilling on the map in DC, considering we were the first people to have the restaurant and bar. In the DMV, and it was amazing. The concept was awesome, but I think that just that area and space of what we had was just a little bit far out of our reach for in a way of square footage costs, and unfortunately it ended up being the demise of the distillery.
I figured as much. That was unfortunate, man. You guys had some good stuff going on there.
Yeah. Well, we had plenty of medals, I can tell you that. We were the DMV's most awarded distillery. That kind of proves it.
Yeah, I see it.
That's all the original stuff.
I have a little bit of that stuff here, and I have some stuff. I can talk about it now. I have some absinthe here.
You managed to get hold of some?
Yeah, buddy.
It hides.
Yeah. I got some.
Do you want to know a secret how that came around?
Tell me about it.
So that came around because the American Distilling Institute, Matt, our head distiller, he's great friends with them, and we ended up doing a regional kind of tasting there over a couple of days. And we had all this booze left over. He's like, I don't know what to do with it. But because they had some wormwood and some other stuff, he's like, I'm making an absinthe. It's for staff only. So yeah, this tiny micro batch of what the still that we used to make Wild June and Czechoslovakia. We ended up making absinthe out of it. We looked at a TTB to see what we could legally do with it in the cell, and they were just like, just don't. Well, okay, cool. It got labeled as sample on the back of it in big letters, handed out as tasting team.
Yep.
And yeah, here we are.
I have somebody, so I'm excited about that. I've used it a couple times on a rinse. But yeah, man. So that's awesome, man. It's just a small world, and it was crazy when you mentioned that you were at District. You know, because that was it was really one of my favorite places in the city. I loved it there.
Yeah. I loved how we got into the community. We got into U Street. We were part of like different bartender helping support. We did a load of support all over the place. I lost count how many times we would have school charities reach out to us, and having the ability to say yes to every single one of them, going, we will support you. It's just a matter of how much we can.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. And you could tell that it was a community hub that was accepting in all ways. One of my last projects I did, we had Wild June as the gin for the Capital Pride. And everything else. It was just so much fun. What we could reach out to, even with helping out a few like discussion groups that were going on in the that were going on at a time between local law enforcement and minority communities to actually try and find a harmonious like way of living now.
Yeah.
And obviously this has all erupted since, and we were trying to help with that like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I know it's been going on U Street a lot longer than I've even been alive, let alone lived in the US, or let alone 2 years ago. And there's such a deeper problem, but we were trying our best. And it could be like, as long as you've tried your best, as long as you put your hand on your heart and saying you're trying to make this a better area, a better community, a better district, and just a better way of life. And that's what we were doing. And that's what I had the ability to do.
Yeah, there's nothing for any of you guys to hang your heads about when it comes to District Distilling. You guys crushed it when you were here. I was saddened, but you know, it is what it is, how things go.
Yeah. And hey, there's still 8 other distilleries.
I will be meeting up with you to get that Wild June though. Real soon.
Yeah, it's in about, now I know you're out, which area of Maryland you're in. Next time I'm out there, I'll definitely come and hit you up and we'll go for a drink. There's a couple of distilleries out there that I like, that I'm sure we can go say hi to.
For sure. So, all right, so I'm done with my fusion.
Yeah, all right. Should we move on to the big boy stuff?
Discovery.
Sorry, the big person stuff.
It's big boy stuff, man. It's all good.
There is no messing around with Discovery.
Put your big boy pants on with this one. This is 122.2 proof.
Oh, yeah.
That's my kind.
Right. So the first thing I'm going to say about this is, right, Discovery, transparency, and everything what you got in this. Yep. This is cask strength. So all of this was just put in at cask strength, right? It was allowed to be hot and spicy. We were allowed to do this. It's the same blending technique, same people together, same team going, right, what can we do? Same knockout way of doing it, same blending. Every single bottle that you see here has all gone through that same step and procedure. It's incredible that we can actually keep it going. So Discovery 1 was 4 different, so unlike Fusion, where that is the same whiskey that's just aged a little bit longer each time, between the 3 different bottlings. Discovery 1 was 4 different distilleries, making 4 different mash bills and everything else. And then we blended those 2. So Discovery 2 is 3 different whiskeys. Okay. All of these whiskeys in their own right are incredible. Some of them are behind me. Some of them aren't. I can't find one of them because it's that elusive it goes on the shelf, and it's one of those incredibly highly allocated stuff, and you just can't get hold of it. It is just a pain in the ass to try and get hold of. So there's a 10-year, 12-year, and a 14-year. The 10-year with that 75 corn, 13 rye, 12 barley. And 12-year is 74 corn, 18 rye, 8 malted barley. And then the 14-year is 78 corn, 10 rye, and 12 barley. Sorry, looking on the screen here.
Right.
And if you Google those, you can see, I might be able to wink if there's an answer when the sun's going down, but I'm never allowed to put it on paper. I'm never allowed to say exactly what they are. So for this one though, however, I'm not going to put an ice cube with it. I do have a slow pourer. I'm not just pouring in like a ridiculously large.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Oh, where's it gone? No, apparently there is no pipette or dropper today. It's in my bag and that's in my kitchen. So this is meant to be hot. It's meant to be fun. My guilty pleasure with this one is actually putting it into a cocktail.
Really?
Even though it's $130 odd, $35 on the shelf. My favorite cocktail, and the cocktail I had on my birthday, which was back in April, was a whiskey sours with the egg yolk, freshly done. Obviously, with juices, fresh is always best.
That's how I'm buddy.
Make it my own, simple and everything. It's just how you do it. So this
whiskey sour with it. I'm gonna try that.
But you know what? I'm actually even.
Oh man.
Just I don't like drinking this out of a large glass. That's going to really open up. So the best thing about all these whiskeys is where the fusion's like 98.9. Like we said, this one's 122. These are whiskeys that you can let open up. So if you know that after dinner you're going to want something like a little bit of booze to help digest everything, pour this at the beginning. Just let it sit on the counter. Let it sit on the side.
Yeah.
Really get chance to enjoy it.
It's science.
Yeah, and open it up. So with this one, if you try it neat as it is, then put a couple of dashes of like a Brita filter water or distilled water if you have it, and just enjoy it. Like you get all those incredible like walnut notes. It's got some tanning oak. It's just got so much depth and body.
Man, you know, it's amazing because it at first, when it first hits my palate, it feels like it's about to do this rip my chest open thing, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It mellows out. It's 122 proof, and I'm telling you, you cannot tell. It's a dangerous whiskey, people. Listening to me, listen.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's that little Kentucky hug. That's all it is. It's not like an ethanol ban.
Yeah.
It's that Kentucky hug just to go.
Yeah. No ethanol. No ethanol burn at all. It's a beautiful expression, man. I love this stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh.
You know what? And you're right. Because I've had this sitting here. I poured mine before we even started shooting, and I've had it sitting here for a while. And it just helps. It helps to open it up a little bit. You know, move it around.
As aromas explore the room and really get it. I've actually just spilt some on my cloth table here. I can't wait to see what that's going to smell like in half an hour. My wife's going to walk in here and go, "You spilled it again, haven't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have to clear off my monitors and everything." And
you know, Nick, you know what's funny? Like when I drink whiskey, like drinking whiskey tonight, when I finish these, I'll leave them out and I go to bed. And when I wake up in the morning to grab the glasses to go wash
coffee,
they smell amazing. They smell amazing. You smell all those notes. You really get it when it dries up for some reason. Like it's I don't know. I do it every single time.
So it doesn't go in your coffee?
No, I don't drink coffee.
All right. Okay. So tea, or sorry, it just goes straight in your cup in the morning and goes.
You give me ideas now, so I'm gonna have to put some tea in there and see how it goes.
Hey, if it's the weekend, it ends in day. Your in-laws are in town. Like, sorry, but drink responsibly though.
Right. For sure.
Drink responsibly. This is quite a powerful one. So, Brocky, tell me, I knew of you roughly and followed your Instagram since my district distilling days. What originally got you into whiskey?
Oh, we're doing this. So,
I want to know.
No,
I tried to look up and I looked up all your YouTube videos and I can't find anything on you. So I'm asking you, buddy. So,
it's funny because I've been saving stories for whenever I had this idea to get interviewed on my own show. Mm-hmm. So I've been saving some, but I'll tell you.
No, dude. No. If you're saving it, we'll save it for a day.
Not a problem, because people who watch this might not see that, and vice versa. So, I was a rum guy, right? So I've been into rum for a long time. I'm going to give you the abbreviated version of this story. And a friend of mine who's gonna be on here soon, my friend Bo was a whiskey guy. So some friends of ours, we all get together after work to go to Jack Rose. Never heard of Jack Rose before, so you know Jack Rose. I walk in and I'm like, what in the hell is this, right? So my mind is still on rum. So I'm like, well, what can I get rum-wise? And so he orders, lo and behold, he orders George T. Stagg, right? So it comes out on a silver tray with a water dropper, a glass, another glass with ice in it. They sit the bottle there, they pour it into his glass. He says, go ahead and taste it. He said, go ahead. He said, don't drink it. Just let it touch your lips.
Yep.
Then take in the flavor and put it down and take in the flavor. So I did that. Boom. I let it touch my lips and every pore in my body opened up. And I was like, what is this? Like this, so that's my first encounter with whiskey. George T. Stagg was the first one I tasted. The second one was at a party I was going to. I went to the liquor store. I said, well, I should get some bourbon. And I grabbed a bottle of Blanton's. Didn't know what the hell it was at the time.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Don't mention that word on any whiskey group.
I know.
You're just going to start a fight.
I know. People are crazy, man. So that's how I got into whiskey, man. So, and ever since then, man, that's it. How whiskey and kickstarted is another story. I'll talk about that when I write my book or do my movie.
we'll wait for round 2 of the interview.
We'll wait
We'll wait until we bring in my distillery team for that.
Right.
And that's one thing that I like you saying about moving with the times. So we do a cocktail class every Thursday. We do a virtual. You join in a Zoom call. You're in the comfort of your home. You can go out and buy some whiskey and then enjoy it as well. So we do that every week. And then we've got the 360. So any time of day, you guys can just go, well, I want to see what bourbon distillery is like.
Right.
Right. So, and that's one thing I absolutely kind of adore about this company. But on the sideline of this is I can call up Steve Nally, the CEO, Mark Irwin, my boss, Herb Henneman, or any one of the ops team, whether it's Nick Smith, the head distiller, the guy who actually sits there making every single bit of juice, or the guy that's bearing down over him, John Hargrove, the COO, going, right, well, we're only at 101%. I was in the military. I want 103%. This is what we're doing. And that's kind of how it works. No joke. My onboarding day with the distillery, this whole transparency thing, it goes all the way through. So, like I said, 85% of what we do, we actually make for other people, right? Mm-hmm. So we make for the likes of High West, Belmead, what have we got here? The Jeffersons, Calumet, there's a couple others around that we help top up whiskey for them, or like Kentucky Owl right now, they're building a new distillery. We're doing a lot of stuff for them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there is this list of I think it's 27 different customers right now. We make 40 different mash bills. But however, because we're such a flat company, a new company as well, so not only are we making all this crazy production, making exactly how they would have made it before. They bring a bottle in, go, we use this grain, this yeast, this water pH. And then we work with their team, our team, they go out into our labs and we go, right, this is identical now. And we go, all right, cool, awesome. Let's make X amount. And that's what we do as a major production, right? However, if we say for an interview conversation, I go, hi guys, I need Nick to jump on this call with me. Can you do that? It's yeah, sure, cool, bye.
Right.
And then it's about giving that time, because we understand, for people like yourself, how important it is for us to actually talk and have these conversations, especially whilst we're all stuck at home.
Yep.
Zoom calls and conversations, literally save my sanity whilst we're going on. Working, have you guys heard of the Whiskey Library?
Yeah, those are my guys.
So I was working with them and we raised a few $1,000s. Well, I think it was just about $5,000-$6,000 in the end for local bartenders for a couple of different charities. And it was incredible. It's friends and family meal, which the guys from the Line Hotel, Morgan Stanner was heading that part. Then you had Hook Hall. I was working with Carl Townsend out there. And just trying to do this crazy fundraising. And we were like, yeah, why not? Let's do this. And I was like, I need some distillery support. And they were like, what do you need? like, right, who do I get the bottles from? Who do I get the packaging from? Who's going to join us on the call? How can we give a unique experience? And then they were like, right, this is how we do it. We're going to do it like this. I'm like, right, cool. I can put that together there. Right. What PPE do we need to do whilst putting this together? Can we get some bartenders to help put this together? So we're paying them, and then get them on a 1099 so that they get a little bit of payment, but then it doesn't mess with everything that they're doing to try and stay alive right now. And it was just incredible. And the distiller was like, no, 100% got you. Marketing director got involved. My VP of sales and marketing got involved. The CEO involved. Like I said, Steve Nally was on the call, a Bourbon Hall of Famer. It's just like, just because of, we go, no, we support our team. We support the people that support our brand.
And even this call, you offered to have the distiller, master distiller, and I think it might have been your GM. I can't remember. But
brand ambassador.
Yeah, the brand. Yeah, so that shows, that's like, wow, that's cool. But to be honest, I want to do a Whiskey and Kicks goes to Kentucky kind of thing. So you guys are definitely on the list for that. So we'll talk about that later.
If there's any followers out there that are actually in Kentucky right now, or they're in a fairly close state, like I'm in Virginia and our neighboring state is Kentucky, and they're not on our quarantine list, but it's up to you and your personal decisions whether you think it's safe to do so or not. So my Instagram is, my personal one is Always Love Whiskey.
There you go.
And that's, even though I am British, whiskey with an E, because I sell American whiskey.
Right.
So reach out, or reach out to yourself on your Instagram. And if anyone's going out there, hit me up. We'll see what we can do to look after you. That's also part of our company. I've got tours and tastings that people are on all the time. We love to make sure and go, no, cool. Well, if you're there enjoying it, I want to make sure you can still enjoy it when you come here. When you come back home, we want to make sure that you're being looked after as well, as one of my guests. So that's kind of just what we do. It's a small family. I know we've got 5 minutes left, maybe.
Yeah, we're running short now. You already know you.
Yeah, I got the timer in the corner. I know the game
already. I love it.
Do you want to know the best thing though that I love about the company is actually something that hides behind me. Is this little certificate here. So it's an ownership of a barrel.
Ooh.
So as you can see, in recognition of your employment, the Bardstown Bourbon Company, that is my barrel number, my name and everything, my start date, signed by a CEO. After 5 years of working with them, I get to have that bottled.
Oh, that is beautiful.
It's my bourbon.
Where do I put my application in?
So, well, you can pay to have your own bourbon done. We actually do a futures program, whether you're private or whether you're a store. And so when people think of like a barrel program, they go, well, they can go to people like Makers or like High West and a few other places. I know there's a ton of different private label programs out there right now.
Yeah.
However, with us, we're going to go, right, well, we've actually got about 100 different barrels you can pick from all different variation of the 4 grains, whether it's high wheat or whether it's high rye or malted, a good amount of malted barley in it, or whether it's like incredible amount of corn and just like the odd bit of here and there for a bit of seasoning. It really is like crazy what we can do. Because we've got these barrels, we also say, well, they've actually just been made as well. None of them are older than 2 years. So you're not allowed to have them back before 6 years.
Right.
So this is a futures program. You're investing in it.
Yeah, for sure.
How much was Bourbon like 6 years ago?
So, right. So you've already picked.
So we're making it.
Okay.
And then you come along and go, I want that barrel.
Okay.
Or I want that one. But we have 100+ barrels that you can pick from. You go, no, I want my name on that one. And each time I come out to Kentucky, I want to come thieve a little bit, see how it's doing. Is it going too much? Is it going too little? Is it aging right? Is it not? And then you can, obviously, you put a deposit down for it and then you pay for it at the end.
Oh, man. Look, man, let's take control of our destiny here and close this out before it closes before us.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I appreciate you doing this, man. It was a good time, very informative, and it's perfect timing after I just did the tasting episode with you guys and stuff.
Yeah, mate. Thank you so much for a great review.
Yeah, man, it's genuine, and it's even better now with you explaining some things. And
Flat Company, you can find information about the Chateau de la Borde. This one. It's going up on our website, the information this week.
Okay, good. That's a beautiful one. Man, that was so good. So good.
You mentioned it.
Yeah.
I saw it. We're getting it fixed.
Okay. Okay. I got it. Oh, hey, I'm glad I can help, right? So look, we have at least 2 more segments to do. When I go out to Kentucky, I'm gonna rock with you guys. And when your barrel gets bottled, we have to sip it.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Dude, you definitely get your own bottle.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate that, brother. Anything else you want to shout out? Everything out there?
Yeah, so follow us at Bardstown Bourbon Company online. Check out like I said, our Thursday online events. If you want to see about regional, what we're doing with Bardstown Bourbon Company, search MDDC. So Maryland, DC, and also Delaware's on there. But if you just put into Instagram, MDDC, you'll come up with our regional Instagram, and that's what I control. And I share what's going on in our area right now.
Appreciate you, man. Cheers to you,
thank you, buddy. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I love talking with you. I love the conversation.
For sure, man. We'll do it again.
Definitely. Anytime.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, will do. All right.
All right.
Safe. Peace out.
Yeah.